Hello everybody. I'm going to take a little walk down memory lane here in a couple ways and my past and how my paths keep separating and coming back together in different ways and the patterns I've noticed. And I suggest you all try this with your own memories. It'll help you to recover some you thought you lost. But I was talking with Ronald Mr. Tackpants the other night, and we had a really delightful conversation because he does the numbers and I do the words. And he speaks French as well, so we can banter back and forth in ways that I don't normally get to with a lot of people. And he's extremely intelligent. If you can hang with him, he's a bit above me, but I still get on his ride and I try to see where it goes, and sometimes I see things he doesn't, and sometimes he sees a lot of things that I don't. But we were talking about Mecca, and actually we were talking about other things, and we got on to, both of us were in Houston, Texas in 1986 at a Waffle House with a sheriff, and we thought how strange that both of us have kind of been everywhere in our life, and to end up where we are now, to both have been in that same place back in 1986. And then I got to noticing how much Waffle House looks like Mecca. Does that make sense to any of you people? Do you see this here? Do you see the Mecca emblem going on here? Now, he was talking about the circle, and I've been talking about the circle, but he divides it in different ways. And he does the low shoe and all the numbers of the casinos and all the sporting games, and he breaks it down into numbers. And I kind of drug him off up into space with me, so he started doing some calculations there, and what the numbers that were coming up were quite incredible. And then we kept pitching each other back these songs about the Waffle House that I'd never heard, and I didn't know they actually had country music songs about the damn Waffle House. So while I'm sitting there looking at this, I was going through another walk down memory lane back in the day, and I remembered about this same time I used to work for this man. Him and a guy, his name was Franco, and his partner was named Felipe, and they called themselves two guys from Italy, and they had a really high-end French-Italian restaurant, and they sold it to Kenny Stabler, a football player for the Dallas Cowboys. And they split apart and they opened their own separate restaurants. So I went to work for Franco at La Louisiana. Even though he was Italian, for some reason he opened a French restaurant, and vice versa. And not only was he Italian, he was from Sicily. He was a 33rd degree Freemason, born and raised in Sicily. And my job was to keep my mouth shut. I got paid very well for what I did, and I handled all the money. And he had never had a man in that position before, and I almost didn't get hired. But when he told me he didn't like hiring men in that position, I said, well, you can't not hire me just because I'm female. My references were impeccable. So he did hire me, and he was glad he did, because he got to the point he actually thought I was stealing from him. So I told him, okay, I'm not. My money, he didn't think your money could be perfect every night. So I told him, well, try me for a week. I don't want to know how much money I'm starting with, and I won't touch it at the end. And you count it and tell me, is it not to the penny? I mean, how hard is it to make change for $1, right? Most of the people that came through there were using credit cards. They would throw $300 or $400 out for their meal and wine, and the waitress got to keep the rest of it. I mean, how hard is it to make change? It wasn't like it was a busy place, and I caught on to that. First, we were only open at nights, but I was required to be there during the day, when the doors were locked, and all these officials from downtown would come in there. Now, they're all Greek, right? Greek run that part of town, and they would answer to him. And he was Sicilian. He was Sicilian Mafia. I know exactly what he was. But I found there were others above him, right, when I got to the Jesuit link on down the line, but that's a different story. What I'm telling you about him is because he used to have a saying all the time that came to my mind while I was looking at this Waffle House picture. And it was, the show ain't over till the fat lady sings. And that's an old Italian saying. Shakespeare used it. Everybody used it, and I got to thinking about this fat lady, right? Who is this fat lady? And I thought, well, I know of one fat lady, and she sang 2 parts of her song, but the 3rd part of her song she's not sung. An opera is strung out over horses. The fat lady opens the show, she opens the second half of the show, and she closes the show. So who is our fat lady that we're waiting on to sing? And so I come over here to Fatima, because Muhammad's daughter was named Fatima. There we go. Muhammad's daughter is Fatima. We're talking about the one who wrote the Quran, okay? He's the youngest daughter of the Islamic prophet. Just hold there. You don't have to go anywhere. We'll just use this page right here, because this is all I want to do to get my point across. Fatima bint Muhammad is the youngest daughter of the Islamic prophet Muhammad al-Khadiji. She was, well, it did it anyway. She was the wife of Ali and the mother of Hassan and Hussein. Sounds like twins, don't they? And one of all the members of the Al-Bayt. She is the object of veneration, love, and respect of all Muslims, as she was the child closest to her father and supported him in his difficulties. Alright, this is the Said family. Over here. Okay, I know all this, and it's from the 11th century dynasty ruling Egypt at the time of the Crusades. The Fatimids claimed descendant from Fatima. Okay? Now, so after this all went down in the 11th century, then we have suddenly this past century we have Our Lady of Fatima in the Catholic Church. Just to go back, and when I popped on it, before I could even get to images, I found an Our Lady of Fatima elementary school here south of Oakdale, and Our Lady of Fatima Byzantine here in the Bay Area, from north of Palo Alto and west of Oakland. So just think about what I'm telling you here, because I told you they're going to pull a Our Lady of Guadalupe on us. It looked like they're fixing to reverse the images in the sky as well. They're going to do a total shakedown on everything. So you're going to need to know all this. This is Our Lady of Fatima that we know of, okay, in the different depictions. You remember the story in the Catholics? And there's a big deal about they were supposed to release the last of the prophecies. The secret third prophecy, that's it. And this is the last part of the closing of the opera. And it's all over YouTube. I mean, I've seen a lot of videos on Our Lady of Fatima. That's no secret. And they keep telling you, they were supposed to reveal it back in the 60s, actually, before I was even born. And every pope that's looked at it wouldn't do it. And we've heard about 500 or 600 different stories of what it says. So to this date, we can't possibly know which one is true, right? You just don't know, because until the Pope was told in the passage that he had to release it. You can go look up all this for yourself. But here's what I realized. Okay. Our Lady of Fatima. Fatima is, I'm a fat lady. All you gotta do is drop that little yod in there. And if you're Southern, you don't care anyway. I'ma is one word. I-M-A. I'm a fat lady. It's Fatima. And I have not sang my encore yet. Then we have a standing ovation. The curtain closes, the show is over, and we all leave and demand a refund, because this Pete and repeat story sucks. No more merry-go-round. We want to write our own stories without all the Swiss cheese effects and the iron rod and the Iron Bank war machine. We want peace on earth and in the heavens. A pure speech to get her to play along No more lies. Your story's just no good if it's full of lies and full of holes and it's totally run by a war machine. It's just a bad story. Boo. Boo. Boo.